Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I am Regina Carleglio, the Membership Director at Jewelers of America. Today's webinar, Drive Online Success this Holiday Season. We have brought together 3 industry experts to share with you their insights, and then as a panel, they will address whatever questions you have. From BrandRep, we have Shristi Thapar, Vice President of Operations, Charles Della Sala, Director of Sales. From GemFind, we have Anthony Archiga, Vice President of Sales and Marketing. And from Valigara, we have Igor Nusinovich, Co-founder and CEO. We have assumed you have some type of web presence. Today, we will focus on what tweaks and improvements you can make to turn your browsers into buyers. So please type your questions into the pane, and I will be asking them after the presentation. Finally, today's session will be recorded, and you will receive a link to the recording of this event via email. It will also be available along with all of our previous webinars on the Jewelers of America website. So now I'll turn it over to our first presenters, Shristi Thapar and Charles Della Sala from BrandRep. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shristi. I'm the VP of Operations at BrandRep.
And my name is Charles Della Sala, and I'm our director.
I'm just waiting for Regina the screen to pop up, and then we will get started. So that's us. We can go on to the next slide if you like.
Yeah, and I'll give some color just about who we are. So we've been in business for just about 10 years now. As you can see, we've helped thousands of clients. We have some hyper focuses. One of them happens to be the jewelry business. And we've got tons and tons of trusted partners that we also work with day to day too, in order to maximize the tools that we have to provide to small businesses that are out there. So just to address the topic a little bit about the holiday season and why that matters, what's important about it. As we come to the end of the year and the holidays, most of us know that customers are primed during this time of year to spend money, right? It's just natural, it's instinct, it's within all of us. And for the jewelry business, after such a trying time through COVID and a difficult, challenging year last year, I would say that having a successful business and sales to the end of this year is gonna be critical. So one of the main things that you guys should be focusing on and that we here at BrandRep like to look at is website. And is it usable? Is it customer friendly? Is it something that you yourself personally would use to buy from? For example, I recently was engaged back in July. And it took me months and months. I'd say probably it's somewhere between 4 to 6 months to actually find the right diamond to purchase for my fiance. So always being prepared ahead of time is going to be key, because if you're looking to attract a buyer in December, they may be looking right now, let's say 60, 90 days before. So just how to be ready for the upcoming season is something that we want to address today too.
Awesome. So this is a little bit about what we do. We believe in holistic digital marketing. We never want our clients to have to go to 2, 3, or 4 different vendors in order to reach their marketing goal. So we provide SEO, premium directories, advertising, social media, reputation management, and all of it can be tracked in our client portal. The reason for this is that you can't just have a website. You can't just have social media. You almost need to have end-to-end techniques to reach your audience. We'll explain a little bit on that on the next slide. So I know that jewelers have their 4 C's. Regina, we can go on to the next one. Okay. Jewelers have their 4 C's. You guys have diamonds, you have color, cut, clarity, and carat. We love that. We have our 4 C's, which is channel, communication, content, and conversion. So being placed on the top channels like Google, Facebook, Instagram is key. Being able to communicate with your audience without being salesy, but really just positioning yourselves as industry leaders on why they should purchase from you, who you are, tell your story, what's your value prop. Finally, the content. You can't put blurry images of diamonds. You can't put, iPhone shot videos. You really have to show the level of professionalism that you have in selecting your diamonds on your website. And finally, all of those three is what's going to get you those conversions. So when you look at your website today, you have to ask yourself some of these questions, and we'll address those also in the next slide. So website best practices, it's a simple and full service approach. Everyone knows that the first thing someone is going to look at about your business is your website. It's like a modern day business card almost. So if you don't have that, you need one yesterday, and we can always help you with that. But if you do have it, you need to look at the fact, is it modern? Is it sleek? Is it easy to read? Are the navigation bars simple? Do they address what a buyer, a user, someone who wants to get engaged is looking for? And clear CTAs, can they call you? Can they chat you? Can they email you in a simple format? Are you reachable? Because if you're not reachable, you're losing business. That's super important. Finally, your content. Who are you? How did you get here? Why should they buy from you? How are you different from the other jewelers in your area? Would you treat your clients differently? Are your prices better? Is your quality better? All of that information has to be quickly available on your website. Displaying images and video, we talked a little bit about that, and then keeping your content updated for the holiday season. So are your hours different? Are you running promotions? Are there different pieces that are on sale right now and maybe on sale for a limited time? That should be very well broadcasted on the front page of your site. So if you don't have access to making changes to your site, you need to get access to making changes to your site. And features and functionality, your website needs to load in under 2 seconds. If your website takes 10 seconds, even 5 seconds, you've lost your clients or your users' attention. They're going to bounce off your website. That increases your bounce rates. So always keep an eye on that. And then finally, is your website SEO friendly? Do you have a chat feature, e-commerce feature, appointment scheduling? Not all of these features are important for your business, but some might be. So you always want to keep that simple checklist for your business.
Perfect. And you can go to the next one, Regina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shisti. Yeah, and one of the most important things when developing or designing a website is clearly setting a goal for what the purpose of the website is going to be. So generally speaking, you can see at the bottom just a few examples. Is your goal to find new customers? Are you e-commerce? Are you strictly like a wholesale jeweler where you're trying to sell online and you don't even want to talk to anyone or see anyone? Or are you trying to bring people into your actual store to showcase, all your latest and greatest diamonds, right? Or maybe you're a combination of both, right? Maybe you want to increase online sales, but at the same time, you want to increase bookings and appointments, right? So the structure and design and the way that you develop the website needs to be targeted and set up to make this process easy for your customer. So going through the layout and the design and having a goal in mind is critical before you go through the stages of editing your current website, building a brand new website from scratch, and deciding to upload inventory to your website or what inventory you want to showcase the most. So it's very, very important how you place things. And we like to take a path where we sit down with the client one-on-one to discuss all that before we even talk about design or extra features. So that's something really important to pay attention to when it comes to your website. And here's the most important part, right? I mean, a lot of you business owners out there and people that own websites and stores, you've probably heard the word conversion, right? That's the most important word to me here as a director and helping clients is not only are we getting people to your website, right? It's one thing for me to tell you, hey, you had 20,000 people look at your website, you had 500 unique new visitors to your website. But the bottom line is, how many appointments did you get out of it? How many customers actually came in and visited your store from the website? Or how many actually made a direct online purchase? without doing anything else, right? So that's a conversion. So measuring that is key. It's critical, whether you have, you know, a Facebook pixel in your site, whether you're tracking that through a separate landing page, a phone number, whether you're asking your clients. That's one of the key things that we pride ourselves in when it comes to measuring success for a customer, is how well is your website actually converting? So don't forget that one. Go ahead. Okay, so this is just one more overview of, you know, integrated digital marketing for us and how to attract the right audience with the right message, right? Especially during the holiday season, the message that you deliver is very, very key, right? Are you looking to sell engagement rings? So who are you attracting, right? Are you looking to sell gems that, you know, someone's just gonna buy for a relative or a boyfriend or girlfriend or something like that? So the whole view from the top is website, directories, showcasing yourself and your listings and services. Are you running search ads like Google ad campaigns that are talking about holiday shopping or holiday deals that you have in your store? Are you redirecting that traffic to a Google listing if you have one with a retail store that has positive 5-star reviews? How is your, let's say, your Yelp look? Because we all know a lot of people go there to look at reviews. And then lastly, are you circling back with social media and doing some retargeting to those same audiences that are coming from the other platforms? And how are you managing your social media, right? Because nowadays we live in a social world where you can get just as much, if not more business in some cases from the social network than you can from just, let's say, Google itself.
Especially in the jewelry world, I think more and more people want to see your work because it's in the Gen Z and millennial world, it's all about sharing what you've just purchased, especially if you've gotten engaged or you bought a new pair of earrings, whatnot. So they want to not only find the right jeweler that fits their vibe, their style, whatnot, but they want to be able to share you as their jeweler. And that's something that they will look at, your social profile. And since this industry is so focused on beauty and perfection, I think the aesthetic of your social media page is super, super important. And especially during the holiday season, because everyone's looking to buy something. So you got to get ready for that. And then finally, I think, Regina, we can go off to the next slide.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And finally, this is our information. If you have any questions, you're free to call us. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is BrandRep Marketing. And you can DM us if you have questions, and we'll be happy to help you, even for a free consultation. We just want to help.
Yeah, don't hesitate to email or call. We're totally happy to help answer any questions you guys have. And thanks, Regina, for letting us share just some of our tips and tricks for the
Absolutely.
holiday.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to Anthony Artiga with GemFind.
Thank you, Regina. Sure. Yeah, so you know, we wanted to just kind of give you some quick tips as well. We're jewelry industry specific, and so we've kind of created some formulas for jewelers to have. And I'd like to be, really specific about what jewelers should be doing this holiday season. So if you want to go to the next slide, Regina.
Okay.
Thank you. And a little bit background about GemFind, if you're not familiar with us. We've been in the industry for over 20 years, just helping the jewelry retailers create, effective online presence with, everything from, your website, populating your website with inventory. So we are partnered with Edge, the point of sale system. We do a lot of Edge integration. So whatever is in your store is also on your website, and you have like a full, omni-channel kind of experience, both in store and online. We have, a diamond search, a ring builder, lots of things to help make your website more engaging and interactive. We also are very bullish about digital marketing. We want to make sure that we're, you've got the proper structure set up. We're all about following best practices and setting you up for success. So everything from best user experience on your website, but really best user experience also relates to SEO, because Google's algorithm update in May was all about page experience. And so we consider that when we're building a website. We want to make sure that it's effective for the end user, and then which also makes it more effective for the search engines. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on these next slides. You want to go to the next slide, Regina? So the first and foremost thing that I want to reiterate, especially for the holiday season, is dominate the search engines in your local market. And it's because the main factor with search engine marketing is when it comes to like shopping. The first place people usually go to if they decide, hey, I want to look for jewelry, is they go to Google. And the big difference between search engine marketing and other forms of marketing is that intent factor. If somebody's typing in a keyword like, engagement rings or wedding rings or jewelry for the holidays, they're showing that they have interest in that product or service. But you just need to make sure you're visible when those interested consumers are searching for the products or services that you offer. But if you dominate the results page when somebody is searching for those keywords, then you're more likely going to be able to get that customer to click on your website. And then your website obviously has to have the right user experience and many other things that I'll get into on these next slides if you want to go to the next one, Regina. So a couple of things to dominate the search engines, and these are basically best practices. Number one is landing pages. You want to create a dedicated page for every keyword or search term. What we see a lot of times is, a jeweler has a website and all their keywords are just stuffed on their homepage. A lot of agencies do this even. They're not following best practices, but typically you want to have basically mini home pages all over your website that are based on the keywords that people are searching for. So if engagement rings are important for you, have a page dedicated to engagement rings in your area. And you can even do it for other cities too. So like say engagement rings in Denver, engagement rings in Colorado Springs, or whatever it is. And then that is best practice. Also, the other part of organic visibility is domain authority. Domain authority is basically kind of a score that search engines give you based on how much of an authority you are, possibly on any given topic. And that is determined by how many links are going to your website. So you need to tell Google what to rank you for. And that's where those dedicated landing pages come into place. You want to tell Google what you do, where you do it. And then once you have that domain authority, which is again, building a lot of links going back to your website. So write blogs or articles on third-party websites, get covered by press, and have those articles link back to your website. And that's how you build domain authority. The other part is product schema. Product schema is basically your products looking like products on search engines that will allow Google to crawl your products better on your website. If you have Shopify, it does it automatically. You don't have to worry about it. But it is a code. I'm sure Igor has some input there as well, because he's very particular about the product schema and all the different formats when it comes to products online. But product schema is basically a code that you tell Google this is a product. Other platforms like WordPress, Magento, you can do it. You just have to add plugins or do some manual work. Google Ads is the other part of dominating search engines. There's the search campaigns, which are basically the classic. If you type in a keyword and you're buying, basically clicks or pay-per-click. Every time somebody clicks on that ad that shows up, it's charging you between $1 and $10 every time somebody clicks on it. So that's called Google search campaigns, or a lot of people know it as pay-per-click. What we recommend is do branded campaigns. So when somebody's searching for a name, but also high intent campaigns, use keywords like buy engagement rings locally, or things that have buying intent within the keyword. There's also map campaigns, which is going to be really important for the holidays. You could show up on the top of the Google 3-pack. So when you do and I'll show you a screenshot real quick here. When you do a search on Google, there's the map, and then there's usually 3 listings. Sometimes there's an ad above it, so there'll be 4 listings. The ad is the Google Map campaigns, and you can show up anytime somebody's searching for a local jeweler. So that's really important. Local campaigns is something that Google launched during COVID, where it's allowing people that are actively shopping for jewelry find your ads. They're going to see your ads all over the Google Display Network, but they happen to be in market audiences in your actual market. So great campaigns that are providing a lot of conversions right now, which are phone calls, direction requests, stuff like that. And then finally, shopping. So Google shopping campaigns, extremely important. One of the most underutilized parts of Google that we're seeing for jewelers. Shopping campaigns are really important because it's actual product that you can show on the Google search results, and people can start engaging with product right from Google. And then you use dynamic retargeting to keep people within your funnel. So if they find your website on Google, you basically add a tracking pixel on the website, and then you create dynamic retargeting ads so they keep seeing your products everywhere all over the internet on Google. And then also Facebook and Instagram, you set up a custom audience targeting your website visitors. So this is like essentially, this is how you're going to have the most success during the holiday season. If you can go to the next slide, Regina, and I'm just going to take just like 2 more minutes. If you go back one real quick.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Hold on.
I think if you just press left on your keyboard, but
Okay.
Now you ruined everything.
Now I really went back.
This back button, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I got it. Hold on.
perfect.
Previous.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. And this is just a quick screenshot of the Google search results. So on the top is the Google search campaigns, like I mentioned, PPC. On the right is the Google shopping. And then the Google map, like I had mentioned, showing up on the top. That's the Google ad. And then also, obviously, there's organic down below, which means non-paid. That just requires all of that legwork in order to get ranked on top. But this is actually a client of ours that is showing up and basically dominating the search engines in their local market. And they're basically taking up the majority of the traffic. So if you could go ahead and go to the next slide, Regina.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so social media advertising, real quick, just create lookalike audiences. So when you're doing dynamic retargeting, you use that same list to find similar shoppers on Facebook. Basically doing broad Facebook ads are typically not as effective. However, during the holidays, everything's on the table. So also load your customer list into Facebook for targeting them. You can use them to target ads to. Use carousel ads for gift ideas, also dynamic retargeting. Also just post consistently on social media. Promote custom design now and start making posts that show the deadline when to get your custom designs in. A couple of things like that. Also, Instagram Reels are getting actually a lot of visibility. So if you're not utilizing that, highly recommend creating authentic content, educational things showing different jewelry, kind of like sparkling in the brilliant sparkling in the light. Organic side, everything again is on the table. You just need to be very active on social media during the holidays. If you want to go to the next slide, Regina. Okay, and then preparing your website, just make sure you update your product. I'm basically considering everyone's got their website set up right now. So as far as your website, because it's getting late in the season, but update products on websites so you have the latest products on your site. If you got your Edge integration, great. You don't need to worry about it. And then create a gift ideas landing page and product collection on your site. You want to give people some tips on how to start shopping and don't leave it up, don't try to leave it up to them to try to figure out where to go to find gift ideas for the holidays. Okay, go ahead and go to the next one. Thank you. And then finally, promote events. You can use Facebook events, create a gift ideas landing page like I had mentioned and connect that to an event. Send some emails, like save the date plus 2 to 3 emails leading up to the event. And then do social media posts where you're increasing the frequency as you're getting closer to the event. The other part that's off the page here is a lot of jewelers aren't utilizing is on Google My Business. You can actually add your events to that as well. So when somebody's searching for a jeweler locally and they click on your Google My Business, they're going to see that event as well. So you get more visibility of your events organically. And that's a great way to get some interest from people that are actually looking for jewelry at that time. So add your events to your Google My Business, which again, I don't see very often, but when I do, it's pretty prominent. So, all right. And next one. So that's pretty much, kind of what I had to share. Don't want to take up any more time as Igor's got a lot of great things to share. My info is, I believe, on the next slide. If anyone has any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. We're more than happy to give free consultations. My email is anthony@gemfind.com, or you can just email sales@gemfind.com, and be happy to give you, a free consultation and look at all your competitors and figure out a plan of action that's going to help you grow online. And we love to help the jewelry industry kind of move forward digitally. So
Great. Thank you. Okay.
yeah, thank you.
So next on our group, and I have to say, we really searched hard. I think we've got 3 of the best partners out there. So thank you all. So we have Igor Nusinovich, and he is with Valigara. And this is just a little highlight, but I'll turn it over to Igor. Igor?
Yep, I'm
Okay.
here. Thank you. And I'm putting the 10-minute stopper for myself, because otherwise I will be speaking
Yes.
for hours. So, okay. First of all, okay, my name is Igor. I'm from Valigara. What we do in Valigara, we help jewelers, the brave ones that do not work with the Anthony, for example, but decide to do it themselves. So we are on the technology side, and our jewelry manager is a business level application, is a all-in-one software solution. It's a platform that manages all aspects of the jewelry business online. It lets you to manage your product portfolio, optimize your online presence across your website and marketplaces such as Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Walmart, and worldwide. So we simplify inventory management, orders management, marketing, purchasing, paperwork, and fulfillment. So it's a really all-in-one software, and the software is all specific to jewelry. We work with leading e-commerce players that use us to be in the top 10 on eBay, Amazon, Etsy, and so on. So what we do, we use our knowledge. We're there for more than 10 years, managing more than 870 stores last time we looked at it. And we use our industry knowledge, specifically only jewelry and diamonds knowledge, to create the most related advanced jewelry technology, to save up 80% of time, or gain more control on, or grow to additional marketplaces and so on. So I did not compile a nice presentation, because I understood that it will be a live speech. So my apologies for this. I will try to read what I prepared on my side notes. So I just want to make 2 don'ts, what not to do when you start the holiday season, right? So don't. This year especially, don't expect for miracles, because this will be a relatively slower season, because of how people purchase. The purchase habits have changed. People buy much more during the year, and the season will be a little bit lower. And last thing to do right now, because we all can give you beautiful ideas, but last thing right now at this stage is to experiment. It's a money time, so you do not experiment on the money time. Do whatever you already know to do, and probably learn for the next year. So, an important thing, and I will just go through a few ideas that we see happening through many jewelers we work with. First, an important understanding is when you go online, when you work online, you do not work with your products. First, you work with information about products, which is absolutely different. And second thing, you do not work with a product. What sells is not a product itself, but an offer. So when we speak about the product, we speak about the product content. It's very different. And when you, as Anthony beautifully said, when you think about your clients, it's 2 types of clients. One is your clients, and the second is the SEO, the search engine optimization. Doesn't matter if it's eBay's best match algorithm, or Google, or Amazon, or whatever. So you have 2 clients. This is an important thing to keep in mind. Now, when you speak about your content, your main content, which is titles, descriptions, media, and your general offer, I'll speak about it in a minute, has to change, because like umbrella before the rain and after the rain. So your product should become a Christmas product. The same product when we speak about, let's say, engagement ring. Well, engagement ring is less seasonable thing, but if we speak about for a product, we can discuss, we can describe the same product as a snowflake or something else. A snowflake product or a Christmas gift, Christmas necklace, gift for Christmas, and so on the titles, on the descriptions, in your media, in your images. We can apply, for example, you can apply some watermarks, or you can put some promotional images. For example, the same gift box, the same box of the jewelry box below the Christmas tree, which will create a more relevant to the season experience of the client. Now, and here a small side note: when we prepare to a sales season, it's not just a Christmas. There are more targeted events, which normally everybody knows, okay, there is a Black Friday. Yes, but for us in the jewelry field, we have some smaller events, like, for example, Halloween, or, for example, if we're in religious jewelry, then Hanukkah, which also comes in the end of the year. So find more precise events where you as a jeweler are relevant. And it's not just Black Friday and Christmas, which this year will be a little bit also slower. Now, when we speak about the product line should be simple product line. Why? Because we expect people to buy with urgency. This is one, and second, they will buy with less engagement. Less understanding what they're buying. So they will buy a new sweatshirt for the daughter, and then some jewelry for maybe the wife or the daughter too. So it should be a simple jewelry while targeting low engagement purchase. Now, it also means that you should aim, because you're going into loaded peak, into the loaded season. If you can still adjust your product line, it should go for the low touch sale items like necklaces, bracelet, earrings, comparing to rings before, because in rings we have much more questions about sizing and returns and so on. So targeting this low touch sales products will actually make your system less overloaded. Now, obviously we go into aggressive advertising mode when we have to be prepared to put higher budgets. And obviously, Amazon will get crazy on the PPC, on the pay-per-click numbers. They can double and triple. And if you see on your budget, on your statistics, that you get a third of the traffic, yes, this is the holiday season. It's not only about beautiful numbers on the income, but also you have to be ready to get better budgets on the PPC, pay-per-click, your marketing budgets. Now, on the marketplaces, it's very important. All of us are very already established on marketplaces, but follow the recommendations. So because we have two clients, the client and, let's say, Amazon. So when we go to Amazon Seller Central, we'll look at what Amazon expects for us, because we also want to adjust our expectation, not just to the clients, but also to Amazon. So on eBay, we will work with content. On Amazon, we will redo the PPC, and we will, of course, work much stronger with inventory. Etsy will require the storefront adjustments and cross-selling. So each marketplace, see what it means. Gifting, the holiday season means it's gifting. It's not something that I buy for myself, but I buy most probably as a gift. It means also personalization. So as much more personalized this purchase will be, your offer will be, so better it will sell. Because when I want to buy something for my mom, I want to state to her, dear mom, blah, blah, blah. And I want to personalize this gift, because I am not going to use actually this necklace or the ring. So improve your offer and not just the product. Information wise, right? We don't sell product, we sell information. So here, more is better. Add an appraisal, add the photography of your inlays, what you put inside, all the all the nice stuff that is around the product, because the product is less important. I'm not buying it for myself. Now, and here some interesting stuff, like, of course, working also on our shipping and handling. One day difference can make huge impacts on our shorter handling and make a huge difference. Strengthen your returns, because when I buy a gift, I have to be calm as a buyer that it will be easy for me to return if my wife or my daughter or whoever I'm buying the jewelry for, it's easy for me to return. Now, the important stuff, remember that it's a peak season, and then your providers will fail, your weather will fail you too. You have to have a plan B for the operation, and there will be loads. And the most important probably for now, for tomorrow, for tomorrow is test yourself. All your processes of the operation, do the best to test them now and not in a month. And of course, the last thing is, well, not last, but work with existing clients. Here is my 10 minutes, so I will stop right now. Your existing clients mean email marketing, social marketing. Do not try to get to new people, but utilize what you already have.
That's plenty okay, Igor. That was actually.
There is a long list, yeah, still here, but these were my 10 minutes that you allocated.
Absolutely, that's fine. No, I think that was all, some really great information that we had from everybody. Okay, so let me just click on to our questions here and go here. Okay, so I'm going to put this out to each one of you on the panel, and if you could just keep your answer to a minute, that would be great. First of all, how do I keep my ads from being minimized over holiday when, as to Igor's point, we have, Amazon, just flooding the market, right? And they're taking advantage of it. So how do we keep important, in that, how does someone keep from not letting their ads be lost when they can't compete with that type of, finance that they're going through? So BrandRep, I'll ask you first.
So the way that you can do that is by using hyper-focused keywords. So longer tail keywords and hyper-focused areas. So you're not using such a broad match term, like engagement ring, for example. If you do that, you're probably going to compete with some of the biggest companies in the world. A better keyword phrase might be something like engagement rings for her in Los Angeles, for example.
Okay.
So it's much more focused, less of a volume on search, probably less competitive, and more affordable per click.
Right.
So if you have a large variation of hyper-focused keywords with hyper-focused areas across different platforms, not just Google, obviously, but others too, you'll be much, much better off, and you won't get dominated or eaten alive by your competition.
Correct. And then a landing page dedicated to that keyword, or a service page on your website if you want to be a little more focused on the type of budget you have, right? So if you have a budget that you want a landing page for, we can do that. If not, just add it to your website. So when someone clicks on your ad, that's the page they see instantly.
Right. So if you're trying to advertise for, best Christmas gifts, diamonds, you know what I mean? Make sure that if you're running an ad, when they click on that ad, it's taking the client specifically to a page that has all your Christmas special offerings on it, not to just your home page of your website.
Okay. So be as specific as possible.
Yes.
And on the page, it's important, like we talked about conversions and tracking on our slides, you have to have G tags. So if someone does click on your ad and end up on the landing page, you can track what they did on that page, the time they spent on that page, so you can better optimize your ads and better optimize your landing page.
Perfect. Okay, Anthony, would you like to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I would agree with all of what BrandRep said. The main benefit of having dedicated pages for each campaign. So what a lot of people, we'll look at a lot of accounts on Google Ads, and I'm talking about Google Ads because, again, when it's searched, people have intent. So you're going to have people more ready to purchase. But the other thing I would add on is add in like I had said, like buying intent keywords. So like buy, engagement ring, stuff like that. But what the other part that is really important for those dedicated pages is that it's going to give you a higher search impression share than your competitors, because Google gives you a grade called quality score. So it's basically how relevant is that page according to the campaign that you're running. And so the higher your search impression share, so a lot of times we'll look in different markets, we'll take over an account and they're like in the middle of the pack. But every single time, because we're doing these dedicated landing pages for each campaign, they're showing up higher than their competitors. And they're actually you could spend less than your competition, because odds are a lot of your competitors, they're just trying to outspend everybody. And they're just trying to basically strong arm the search engines. And so if you outsmart them versus outspend them, that's how you can basically make sure you don't get drowned out by your competition.
Okay, thank you. I just, and Igor, would you have anything you'd like to weigh in on that?
So I will, obviously what guys say is absolutely, this is the focus. I will just add something on the, from the cross-channel point of view, because when we look at the e-commerce, we look from the cross-channel or even omni-channel point of view. So additional thing, what I would say here is try to search for alternative sources of traffic. So obviously, if you speak about direct, like brutally, okay, I am on a website, I am going for my Google shopping, or for Google, or for Facebook. Yes, this is obvious. But then if I want to find opportunities, I can check additional sources of traffic. I'll just as an example, Etsy works beautifully with Pinterest and with Instagram. And you can use the traffic on these marketplaces to bring it from there, because it's less crowded, because the large and huge websites are still not utilizing their these locations as well. So another thing I will, generally the idea is how you strengthen your uniqueness. Normally it's localization. If you're local to somebody, then strengthen it as much as possible. And then any other, if you even have, it's on the omni-channel, not on the cross-channel. Omni-channel means the combination of offline and online, right? Invite people into your showroom. It's not directly the online practice, but this can make your neighbor prefer your solution and not another one, and this naturally, organically will reduce your costs.
Great, thank you very much. Those are all good responses. And I just want to remind everyone, if you have a question, just put it in the questions pane. We have about 6 so far, but we will try and get as many of them answered. Okay, Anthony, I believe you spoke about Instagram Reels. And I'd like to know if all of you can just speak a little bit about how can I link them on my website? Like if I have an Instagram Reel, can I have it on my website, and can I have it on my Facebook? And when is it too much? So Anthony, maybe you want to start on that.
Yeah, you can feed it. The most like website platforms out there, like Shopify, they have the apps that you can pull in your Instagram feed or whatever. You can feature it there. But where you're going to get the most visibility is within the platform itself. I mean, that's you're getting a lot of obviously website traffic, but people are there because you want them there to shop. Obviously, you want them to follow your brand as well, but really you want to use those reels because that's where basically most of the views are happening. That's where a lot of the accounts are being grown organically right now at this moment. And doing things like educational videos and things, and like I had mentioned before, is like getting a lot of visibility both on reels and on TikTok as well.
Okay, thank you. Shristi and Charles, any comments on that?
Yeah, so usually with Instagram and all social platforms, you want to jump on trends very quickly. So for example, right now, Instagram Reels is what's trending. It's huge. when you record a video, you record it on your cell phone or you record it on a camera, you have those assets available. So to Anthony's point, you could pull a widget to your website and put it on all of your different channels so it's available to view, or you can upload those videos to your website as plain videos so people can you can also share it on YouTube and TikTok, so you don't have to duplicate your work, but really just reuse the content. But anytime you see a trend on TikTok or Instagram, if you really want to capitalize on it, you have to post at least 3 to 5 times a day in that same format to increase your views. Look at what works.
Interesting. Okay, Igor?
So, well, I obviously come with not what to do, but how to do. Yeah, I always more detailed. The issue is what you post on Instagram, and then 2 things here. You can link directly from Instagram to the specific product and not to your website. And this is a huge difference because the first, well, these guys know it much better than me. People don't click more than 3 times until they purchase. Well, it's a best practice, right? So if you link not into your website and not into a directory, but into a specific product, your chances are much higher that your buyer will be ready to buy. This is one. Then you can use the built-in connectors really to push the specific products, which with much more information into Instagram, and it will promote it better. And just guys spoke about the TikTok. I would also say that we have some very interesting results, not just with Instagram, even that obviously this is number 1, but with Pinterest, Tumblr, and even Flickr. Even that is, many people don't even know the names, but these are very targeted social networks that are much more oriented on interests. This is one. This is the Pinterest, and then the media, the images, and jewelry being a visual product. We see that on this smaller, like Tumblr and Flickr social networks, people are able to gather this community and utilize it after that, use it after that to bring people to the website.
Okay, great. Here's one. This person has said that their they don't have like a real developed site for selling, and how can they use their site to more or less draw people into the store? So they're not there to turn the shopper into a buyer right then and there, but they're there to get that person from who's online to bring them into the store. What is some of your best practices for doing that? Is it a price point? Is it a special? Is it a certain date that, things are done by? Or what would you say on that?
I mean, you just have to have a path to the conversion. If the main thing, you need to make sure that you have the calls to action to get people to book an appointment. I usually recommend using something like Calendly. Because it connects to your Google Calendar, makes it really easy for people to book appointments with the store. But you need to encourage people to, come in by booking an appointment. That's probably the best way to generate, bottom of the funnel leads on your website. Obviously, product, all that stuff is important, but as jewelers, I know your business, so what your local market is interested in. But I would like to kind of just say, really just encourage people to come in by promoting the ability to book an in-store appointment. Also with Calendly, you can even do virtual appointments. You can connect it to Zoom. And Calendly is actually free if you're just doing one appointment type. So it's something really easy you can add on your website. They give you an embed code and create a page.
Can you spell that?
Calendar. It's like calendar, but with an L-Y. So Calendly, Calendly.
Okay.
Yeah, really easy tool to use.
Thank you. Igor, do you want to weigh in? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question because there are many stages how people progress with their website, and it's until you get to a full functional e-commerce website, it's a long road, and it's a lot of work for Anthony and for the BrandRep guys. it's a lot of work to build a very well-established website. So going step by step, you can utilize your website exactly as Anthony said about booking the meeting, but you can also use it to just as a business card, because part of your selling is also who you are. So simply having a very nice explained about us page and a nice explained what is your specialty and what are your strengths is a very simple thing to do. It's a one pager, but explaining what you concentrate on. Second, using your website to explain your services very precisely, including the pricing. So if you have some additional services like resizing, like maybe you do some examination of the jury, can do the work because it shows you as a professional. And obviously you can use your website showing your policies. You do not have to make your buyer learn about your policies, and it creates another trust that everything is available for him. He knows how he buys and what is the return policy, what is the shipping policy, and so on. So you can use it on the initial step before you get to the e-commerce, before you even go to a showroom, which means where you really put the information about the product. Even before that, even if you're not able to get there, organize the information about the experience of the person when he buys anything he buys from you.
Okay. Last question. Someone's asking a little bit about facilitating some online events. So say an online shopping event, maybe, a holiday party online. So let's go in backwards this time. We'll start with Igor again. And can you talk a little bit about the value in hosting an online shopping event?
Online shopping event. Well, well, probably if it wouldn't be, there are many types of shopping events, but if it wouldn't have a value, then Amazon wouldn't have the Amazon Day, and AliExpress wouldn't have the AliExpress Day, and even would have there are shopping events like Black Friday, for example, right? Yeah. Which in some cases we know that these 2 months they concentrate in some cases more incomes for the sellers than the rest of the year.
Good, thank you.
And you don't have to wait. By the way, and another thing, and if you want to stay out from the crowd, then a few things. There is the last week syndrome, and then the night over syndrome in purchasing. So if we have a Christmas, you can create a next day event. Why? Because people forget and they get late. And then in some cases, what we see, even if you decide this day we work this peak, and the night after, you can say we work 24/7. And this 24/7 can create an amazing, with a very anecdotic sometimes sales of the last 4 hours, and then people who are late. And for this, by the way, for this shopping event, be ready to charge more than the product itself. It's absolutely okay. Because if I'm late to bring a Christmas gift for my wife, well, you can imagine I will be ready to pay for the shipping much more than the product. So running these events is super critical, and importantly, you don't have to wait for the existing ones. You can create, if you have an online community, then you can utilize it by creating your own events, not just sticking with existing ones. Even that naturally preparing for Black Friday is a must, right? And this will generate much more sales.
Thank you. Okay, what about Shristi and Charles?
Yeah, I pretty much don't have too much to add there. I mean, events are a great idea. Just really depends what type of outcome you're looking for. So you can have like a Facebook event where you're going to drive traffic to your store, like let's say like a 48-hour sale. Those are some of the most effective events that I've seen for people that are actually trying to bring people in physically. Or you can have a special, like let's say an online event or
like an educational event.
Yeah, educational event. You kind of teach them, how it works, what the process will be like. And then after that, you can run some type of, holiday sale with a time limit on it to create some urgency.
Like tips on how to plan the perfect proposal, or what bands are trending, what diamond shapes are trending, color cut clarity tips, what they should focus on. Because if they can trust you through these events, they will possibly come in through the door. But if we can't establish that trust through those events, we can't expect purchases.
Yes. And I also wanted to give one free tip. I don't know if we have time, but
yeah, go ahead, Charles. Rock it out. Come on.
On Facebook, I just think this might help some people and it won't cost you $1. So like what I would recommend is changing your cover image to fit the season, like maybe holiday, then maybe changing your title and asking your customer an engaging question, like, what are your 5 New Year's resolutions? And then you can run some type of contest against that, asking them to tag you or submit posts with their favorite, and then you can redisplay them on your social media page, which will show other people that you have a ton of engagement, a great strong following, and it'll hyper focus on that holiday season, so that when you release your special of holiday products that are only available this season, you'll have a higher intent to buy. So if you take a couple steps, I think that
build a trusted community, and in your industry, that's what matters. If they can trust you and they can relate to you, they'll buy from you.
I like that idea a lot. Okay, Anthony, anything you'd like to add in?
I would just say to promote if you want to do an online event, promote it to your past customers, because customers that have already purchased from you are 5 times more likely to purchase from you again. So utilize your email list, and do like this is like an exclusive event for your customers. You can also, again, use your email list to target anyone in your email list on Facebook ads. So Facebook obviously covers Instagram as well, but so if their email address is what they use for their Facebook account or Instagram, etc., then you can deliver ads to them, and and keep kind of dripping on them about this event that's coming up. 1 day event that's 20% off or whatever it is. That's the main thing that I like to get across is really utilize your past customer list for something like that, and utilize your community.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank this very geographical panel we have. So everyone on the call, just so you know, Igor is here from Israel. And then Anthony and Shristi and Charles are on the West Coast. So we've got everybody here, big time span. But I'd like to thank, again, Igor Nusinovich with Valigara, Anthony Archiga with GemFind, and Shristi Thapar and Charles Della Sala with BrandRep. If any of you would like to give them any, contact them for their expertise, and as you can see, they really know their stuff, feel free to reach out to me, regina@jewelers.org, and I'll be very happy to link you with them. I'd also want to remind everyone, don't forget, next week our webinar will be maximizing your JA membership, and that's going to be hosted by me, along with Carrie Miller, our Associate Director of Membership. We're going to go over all the benefits and a lot of the new ones that we've brought on this year, especially with these partners that you see today. Again, don't hesitate to reach out to Jewelers of America with any questions or concerns. And again, thank you to our panel, and thank you for Susan Posnock. She is our Director of Public Affairs and Education, and she has been coordinating this entire series. So thank you very much to Susan. And thank you again. Stay well, everyone.